Hey Fish Fam, this is Nikachu, Merfolk Master, and today we're going back to blue, mono blue Merfolk, for those who are devoted to blue. That's what we're here for today, and we are going to go back to the Master of Waves. Did a great service for the Merfolk modern archetype for years. Does he have what it takes to come back in 2020? To find out, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Before we get into our deck tech, we're going to thank our sponsors, starting with the manabase.com. And MTG Jeff is crushing it on Arena with a Boros aggro deck. If you want to see gameplay of that, go check him out on the manabase.com, your home base for everything Magic the Gathering. And the MTG Mastermind, the coaching program, and the collective to take your game to another level. Get feedback on your archetype, whether it's standard, modern, pioneer, only on the MTG Mastermind. And I've got new patrons supporting me on Patreon. Thank you all so much for your support. I welcome all support, supporting the channel and supporting Modern Merfolk. So I would like to very much thank, starting with Greg Fraley. I'd love to thank Wayne Clark, who raised his pledge on Patreon. Chris Zimmerman. Florian Hiltmare. Thomas Gonzaga. And that's it. Thank you all so much for your support on Patreon. So, we are going back to Mono Blue, partially because this is what I think a lot of people are running still. You know, I've polled my audience, you know, how many of you have actually converted to Simic Merfolk. And it's like basically only half, so there's another half that are still on Mono Blue. So I've basically ported the deck that I am running in Simic to Mono Blue, and I think it's going to do well. And I also hope that this is going to be a good test drive for Master of Waves, which I also think can be played in Simic Merfolk. So this is going to be the guinea pig deck to try that out. So first things first, we do want to be aggro in this modern metagame. There's a lot of archetypes, whether it's like Amulet or Storm or, you know, something. We do need to get our aggro on. Stoneblade, you want to be aggro against. So we do want, I think, Benthic Biomancer. We want a 1-drop, alright? We need some sort of 1-drop. I don't like Benthic Biomancer. I don't think Benthic Biomancer reaches a threshold of competency in Modern. I think Kumena Speaker does a better job. But still, it's basically the best 1-drop that we have. It's basically the best 1-drop that we have for Mono Blue. Situationally, you know, maybe Mistbinder could be better if there is a lot of like Dredge or something in the metagame. But as is, I think Benthic Biomancer is probably our best bet. But we are going to exchange Merfolk Mistbinder. Or sorry, was it Mistcaller? I think it's Mistcaller I was talking about. But we're going to, in terms of our Lord, we don't get Merfolk Mistbinder at 2 mana, but we're going to get Merrow Reejerey. Now, Reejerey is definitely more clunky. It's more clunky, but it is more powerful, alright? So I think for the 1 extra mana, we are going to get what we want out of it. It's going to be useful against, for example, any attrition-based deck where they've got blockers up. You know, this is going to be particularly important against Death Shadow. Maybe if we're up against Jund and they've got a Plague Engineer in our way, we can play any creature to tap down the Plague Engineer and get through our damage. This can still help against humans. So I think Reejerey is still a competitive playable card, which is, and of course we need another Lord anyway, so I'm jabbing in this list, but I don't know if it's so much of a downgrade compared to Mistbinder. Merfolk Mistbinder and Simic, better. 2 mana really does make a difference because you can go 1-drop into immediately 2-drop. There's definitely going to be hands where we have like a 1-drop Silvergill Adept, Merfolk Trickster, and Reejerey, and we have to play this thing on turn 3 instead of turn 2, maybe forcing us to play a Trickster earlier than we want to. But, you know, we're just going to have to make the best that we can do. Still, Brazen Borrower 4 of, still like this card. We need some answer to Ensnaring Bridge. We still want to diversify our creature base. A lot of people say, hey, this is a disadvantage that it's a fairy. It has no synergy with the deck. No, it's good. It's good. It gets around Plague Engineer. So if they play Plague Engineer named Merfolk, shrinking the entire Merfolk team, that's not something on Fairy. So Fairy can just fly over and attack for 3 damage over and over again. That's a good thing. I think that's a good thing. I think it's very good. So same situation as in my Simic deck. I'm playing 3 Force Negation, 2 Dismember here, and again we are diversifying the Spreading Seas because I do not believe in this card very much. I actually want to go down to 3. With 2 in the main deck, 1 in the sideboard. I don't know if 4 is so necessary anymore. There's no creature lands to attack, or very few. There's a lot of islands in the metagame, so we already have Island Walk. Mana screwing people really hard because of Arkham's Astrolabe, so still splitting the 2 Spreading Seas. 3 Dismember, very good against Death Shadow, Eldrazi Tron. I think it's fine game 1 against Amulet, but I'm still siding them out because, well, it's still not that great against Amulet. Very good against Mono Red Prowess. You have to kill their creatures. Yeah, with that is that. I'll briefly talk about the mana base. I'm gonna stick with 3 Mutavault like we did with Simic because we do want the blue mana to empty our lords reliably, and also to cast Ashiok reliably against the decks that we want to, whether that is Dredge or Amulet. So 3 Mutavault. We are going. This deck could play with the extra colorless mana because we are running Reejerey and we are running Master of Waves, but Master of Waves isn't coming in all the matchups. It's a sideboard card, so I'm going to stick with 3 here. And Waterlogged Grove, I'm unsure if I want 3. I could go with... I'm pretty confident with 2, but I do know that Mono Blue goes... Because we're not winning games as quickly, as Simic, we're going to go a little bit longer, and the longer the game goes, the more damage you take from Waterlogged Grove. So, I mean, definitely I don't want to play with the full 4 in this list. I'm just going to run 3. Although I am playing like aggro, so maybe I could play 4, but I sincerely doubt it. And 2 Castle Ventress, I think so far, as long as you have 12 islands, this is a pretty free thing to play in your deck. And I think it's good. I think in the long game, especially when you have Aether Vial out, you just keep scrying gas to the top and vialing it in play every single turn. So now let's move to the sideboard. Master of Waves. Why am I bringing Master of Waves back? Because Mono Red Prowess is apparently really hard to beat, and it's getting harder. They're bringing in they're getting they know Chalice is out there. They know Eldrazi Tron is playing Chalice, so they're playing even more spells that get around Chalice of the Void, whether it's Dismember, Stomp. I mean, they always had a Braid. They're playing more spot removal. Even when I'm playing with Chalice of the Void, the Prowess deck is still really tough. It's still really tough. How do I swing the game in my favor? Master of Waves. I think this is going to be the best bet in order to turn the tide, to give ourselves an advantage, stabilize the board, and then swing back for victory. Master of Waves is going to be there for us. So I'm taking out some copies of Chalice of the Void that I had from Simic. I was playing with 4. I still think 2 is good because I want to bring in... I bring in 2 against a lot of archetypes, like even Amulet Titan, but we don't need the full 4 to make room for Master of Waves and Burn is around, so we have some Master of Waves for Burn. That's a huge... This is a card that really turns the game around against Burn. But yeah, anyway, it's basically for Mono Red Prowess, and you can still bring it in against the attrition-based decks. You can still bring it in against Jund. You can still bring it in against Death Shadow. Yeah, they might bring in Plague Engineer, but it's still a really powerful card. If you have a Lord in play and Master of Waves, if they Plague Engineer, they might have to name Elemental, and you still get a Master of Waves in play, and your Elementals your Merfolk are still good. So it's still a very powerful card, a card that your opponent is forced to beat, and yeah, I'm willing to go back to this card. And overall, the sideboard is very similar to the stuff that we've been doing in Simic anyway. So yeah, that is the deck. Let's see how well it can do in today's Modern League. We lost the die roll, and we lost the die roll. And we're gonna mulligan this because we have no land. We have land here, but it's a slow hand. I'm going to be more aggressive online. What is our opponent running? I'm doing this a little bit more often now to determine if I should keep or not. Because, if my opponent is running some attrition-based deck, I can keep this. I can keep this, absolutely. If my opponent's playing an aggro deck, hell no. Wurza. They are probably playing, maybe playing Wurza. That's the last published finish they have. This isn't that good against Wurza. You want, like, Lords and a 1-drop. I'm gonna mulligan one more time. Well, I don't like how far I've gone, but it's got 2 Lords, so it's not bad. I guess I'm gonna dump the Force and Negation and the Dismember. And we have to top deck an island. Alright, so far it looks like Wurza. And the Dismember should come in handy either beating up on our Emery or Urza. The great Urza himself. Okay, this is not... Well, I don't know, maybe it's Wurza. Grind... Oh! 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 We're gonna get killed here. So this is the new Abomination. The Grinding Station deck. What can I do here? Lose, maybe? Guess we just put Lords out and hope our opponent can interact. It's pretty crappy to be on the draw. I would have kept that Force of Negation if I knew it was going to be this deck, but still, it would be it's tough to beat. Emery, oh, not very good. Not a very good Emery. There's like nothing in the graveyard really. We sacrifice Arkham's Astrolabe, find Underworld Breach in the graveyard. I hope to draw a land so I can play Lord of Atlantis and dismember the Emery. Mutavault would be perfect. But I don't think we can let Emery stick around. Otherwise, they play Astrolabe from the graveyard and keep on grinding. Yeah, I don't really like doing this, but this is what I'm going to do. Because to a very large extent, a clock is still very, very important. No artifacts in play. Nothing. You got nothing. Well, you got a Teferi. You got a Teferi? What do you got? You afraid of Spell Pierce? What are you going to do? You're going to do nothing. So we're going to lose our Mass of the Pearl Trident off the battlefield. We are probably just helpless to whatever the hell they want to do. That's not good news. I have to play at sorcery speed anyway, so let's play our Master of the Pearl Trident, pass. But we are now in a heap of trouble. Our opponent's going to be drawing 2 cards a turn with Emery, and also it shouldn't be too long until like our opponent finds like something like Underworld Breach. Yield through this turn. All right, so we're just going to let our opponent do their thing. This deck, I know I made a drama deck tech on it. This deck has not taken off. This deck has gotten they still have trouble beating Graveyard Hate. I mean, like, one Rest in Peace really annihilates this deck's plan. And the Grinding Station doesn't do much. The Underworld Breach doesn't do it. Like, if you have Rest in Peace in play, like, I have no idea what they do. It's, and I don't know how well they can beat a Damping Sphere either. Of course, Teferi Time Raveler can, like, deal with anything. But still, there's a lot of good answers for this deck. This deck might have been, like, way more OP if Mox Opal was still legal, but the fact that like Mox Amber requires that you have an Emery in play is a huge difference. So what they do, they've got the combo online. They're gonna just mill themselves. They play Mox Amber from their graveyard for 3 cards because of Underworld Breach. Mox Amber enters the battlefield. Then they're gonna sacrifice and tap the grinding station to sacrifice the Mox Amber. Floating mana, by the way, floating mana every time, to put 3 cards in their graveyard. So that 3 cards they put in their graveyard helps pay for the Underworld Breach cost, and they just mill their entire library to nothing. And then when they have no cards left in their library, they're going to play Thassa's Oracle. And then that's it. And then we're going to lose. That's how it is. That's how this deck works. How much damage did we do to them? 2 damage? They mostly did we do anything? Or did we do nothing? No, we dealt 2 damage. I think they shocked, fetch, shock for 5. We depleted their life total by 10%. Our hand wasn't the best. It was okay actually. Like we had a little bit more game than I thought we would have. At least we dismembered something. We dismembered and then did something else. It would have helped the most if we got a. It might have made a big difference if we drew the land that we were gonna play Dismember, because then we could get the second Lord in play, Dismember Emery, and then when Teferi bounces something, we could attack it back. It dies. It might have made. I don't know if it would have made a big difference, but it might have made a difference. So here's a matchup where we want Force Negation. We probably want Ashok. I don't know, but probably want we want Relic. We want Damping Sphere. We want all the good stuff. What do we not want? Gotta make a decision with this Dismember. There's not that many. There's only Emery to Dismember. It's worth dismembering. We definitely don't want Spreading Seas. We also don't want Silvergill Adept. This is not an attrition-based matchup. Maybe I'll take out 1 Dismember. 24 creatures. I don't want to go lower than that. You know what? We've got Graveyard Hate. Let's just dump the Dismember. If they have Emery, screw it. We're going to have to deal with an Emery. Alright, so we're going to play Chalice on 0, likely. Prevent Mishra's Bauble getting cast. Mox Amber. Anything else. Anyway, hopefully that works. Submit. So Silvergill Adapt doesn't help us with our clock. It's just card advantage. But it's slow. And Brazen Borrower gives us some opportunity. There's nothing really to bounce, but it's at least something I can play at flash speed. So I can hold up, say, Force Negation. If I need to. I would love to play first. No lands again. All lands. Alright, so we're going to just keep mulliganing. Until I get a decent hand. This is a decent hand. Okay, we'll keep this. Guess we'll put the Mutavault and the Borrower on the bottom. Yeah. This is okay, actually. This hand is okay. I hope this is good enough. I hope they have 3 Mishra's Baubles in their hand. That's wrong. Whoops. Okay, we gotta play the Master of the Pearl Trident first. Gotta remember, Lord of Atlantis. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Remember, Lord of Atlantis makes their Emery bigger. They have a Merfolk in their deck. They have 2 Merfolk. Well, that is catastrophic. I didn't even know they played Thoughtseize. I don't know if that's a new edition, an old edition. Oh, some lag. Oh, another Mystical Dispute? This has to be another Mystical Dispute. Well, their hand's pretty... Well, I don't know if their hand is good. Our hand was just... You know, like our hand, we mulligan to 5. We mulligan to 5 both games. You got a mulligan, you got a mulligan. And it was like for lopsided mana reasons. They're going to let it live. I'm going to play the Waterlog Grove. I am not sure what I'm going to do with this. I have the opportunity. I could adapt it. Maybe I'm just going to do that. I think I'm just going to adapt Benthic Biomancer. Explosives on 1. That's a bit frustrating. Okay, maybe I'm not going to adapt. Maybe I'm going to crack this Waterlog Grove for a card. Okay, we got a card. We got another card. Jeez. It's all 1-drops. I'm going to dump the Ether Vial. I'm going to attack for 2. I mean, our opponent has nothing close to the combo assembled, so it's not too bad. Maybe it's not as bad as it looks. And then I'll play Relic when I can crack it. Because if I played Relic right now, they would just crack their Engineered Explosives and sweep up the Relic for nothing. That doesn't seem appealing to me. Reejerey. Well, if I play... Okay, I'm gonna attack with Benthic Biomancer, because if I play Reejerey, they're just gonna crack the explosives anyway. So let's at least force our opponent to tap some mana before we play this Reejerey. I don't know how much that's gonna matter, because for example, they can Mystical Dispute this anyway, but maybe it matters. Maybe they've got what's it called, Drown in the Lock in their deck. I have no idea. This deck's playing black. Attack! Get in there. I'll play around Mystical Dispute again. Yeah, I have no cards in hand. And... I don't know if it matters, but I'm going to Relic them. I wonder how bad this Chalice of the Void is destroying our opponent. 6 Sanctuary. Okay, so this seems like a good reason to crack the Relic now. Ooh, a Damping Sphere. That's not too bad. Attack. I'm like so curious. What do you have? Like, what is going on in that hand? So Ether Vial here is not too bad because it allows us to use Castle Vantress. Oh no! Oh, I knew some like garbage like that was up. All right. Mystical Dispute resolves. So if we draw 1 land, Castle Vantress is just gonna like turn us into Gasville. Arkham's Astrolabe hits the board. That's not good because that can make mana for Teferi, and I imagine our opponent has a lot of cards in their hand. I wonder, are they gonna? Yeah, they go for Chalice of the Void. How many 0-drops did you have? How many? This will be very interesting. What our opponent doesn't know is they could. I think they could have cast it for. Oh no, they don't have a colorless mana source. Oh, here comes all the zeros. Whoa! Look at all the zeros. Now that being said, I can just play this on 1. Or on 2. I think 2 would hurt them as well. Okay, they're going to get Mystical Dispute back, which doesn't cost 1 anymore. Or actually, I guess the Engineered Explosives is just going to undermine this Chalice of the Void for the entire game. I can play it on anything, it doesn't matter. You can just blow it up. Anyway, I think they wasted their Mystic Sanctuary. That is an awkward draw. I'm not gonna lie, that's awkward. Okay, so we're gonna kill Teferi. Because that means I gotta tick the Ether Vial up to 3. That is something I do not want to do. They've got 1 random card in their hand. I don't know what it is. Probably another Teferi. Okay, let's make our opponents suck up their mana, I guess. Can make them spend 2 mana on their Engineered Explosives to blow this thing up. It's going to be very hard for my opponent to tap out, which is annoying. So I'm going to draw 2 cards next turn. Hopefully trash. Okay, this adds nonsense. This does not. That's a very dangerous card right now. Maybe I'm just going to have to get the Ether Vial on 3 and then go to town with Reejerey's. We know our opponent has Mystical Dispute in hand. Because if they want to play Engineered Explosives on 3, blowing up their Emery, not bad. Not too bad for us. It could be worse. Look how grindy this Grinding Station deck has gotten. Did they just side out the combo and decide to play like a Wurza-like deck? Not sure what's going on. If I understand, there's still 1 unknown card in their hand that I don't know about. I think it's still the Mystical Dispute. But the dangerous thing about Emery on the battlefield is that she's going to repeatedly crack Engineered Explosives over and over and over again. And then after we stop playing things, then they can go for like Mishra's Bauble. So if I can get a second Reejerey in play, I'm going to do it. That is interesting. Still a Mystical Dispute in hand. I shouldn't really do this. Well, I can attack for 2. Hey, I still got a clock, to be honest. I got a clock. The clock is still there. And now we can start using Castle Vantress. Oh, goodbye, Mox Amber. Sweet. Another Arkham's Astrolabe. Hopefully they draw a donut. So this is going to be the moment of truth. What do you want to do? Oh, you know you're in trouble when you have to play your Thassa's Oracle. Okay, so that was the card that they were playing. I guess it's a decent blocker here. It's not bad. Alright, second Engineered Explosives. On 0? Okay. Teferi will bounce Reejerey. But you're tapped out, which I'm sort of fine with. Well, I mean, this is not a good board state. But we can at least get both Reejereys in play. Next turn. It's possible. Because they've tapped it. They've got a Mystical Dispute in hand, and they have no mana available now. It's a very funny thing to play your explosive. Like, why not just get a Mishra's Bauble? Get value. Like, what is this going to destroy? Unless you have some way of putting counters on it. Or maybe it was a misclick. Or... I don't know. I don't know what the point of this was. No, I don't know what my opponent is thinking. But the game's close. The game is really, really close. They need to find a good card. Like, really, really soon. They have a Mystical Dispute in hand. If we get an Island Walker, they're dead. They're just stone dead. This Teferi is not going to do much. Teferi did its thing. Bounced a creature. No big deal. Oh, it'd be so good if I could put a Merfolk in play right now. That is the advantage of Merfolk Mistbinder. It's small but big. And the problem with taking the Vial up to 3 is if I put it to 3, then this Castle Vantress thing doesn't work anymore. Well, I mean, I guess I could still dig for Brazen Borrower. That's not that bad. You can't produce mana, right? No, this doesn't produce mana. This most definitely does not produce mana. Alright, Scry. If you're gonna flood out with good stuff. We are definitely putting this on top. We probably should put this on the bottom. So what do I do with all this? I can empty my hand here. So Engineered Explosives is on the battlefield. You have to pay 2 to crack. Activate again with Emery. Can pay 2 to recast it. And they have 2 mana up to crack it for 2. So if I take Vial up to 3, I can empty the hand. If they draw one more mana source, which is like pretty likely, then they can crack it for 3. Eating up both my Reejereys, and then I still perpetually have to deal with problems. Maybe I just leave this on 2 and I just cast a Reejerey. Yeah, they have enough money to keep... Sorry, they have enough mana to keep sacrificing this thing, then replaying it. I guess I'll leave this on 2, because it's the most valuable there. And then we're just going to keep this Master of the Pearl Trident a secret for now. Teferi can play sorceries at instant speed. My level of comfort from here is pretty low. You know what? Maybe I should just play the double Reejerey plan. I mean, if they really blow up both my Reejereys, then they get rid of Emery and the Teferi at the same time. That can't be bad for me. Maybe that was just the line I should have taken. Explosives on 2, okay. Gonna kill your Thassa's Oracle. I think we're gonna... This is where we're gonna put the Ether Vial on 3. Because we have to get through the Mystical Dispute. probably going to attack Teferi. Teferi can't block. Oh, sorry. Thassa's Oracle can't block because of the Mass of the Pearl Trident. Ugh, it's so painful to put this file on 3. Is this the correct thing to do? I could attack them for 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Crack. Oh, you can crack this right now. Recast it for 3. Blow everything up. Oh, God, this feels very, very risky. Attack! Attack the opponent. No, don't do something. Oh, explosives? Yeah, you're going to kill your Thassa's Oracle. Because the Teferi can't bounce anything next turn. Okay, what's going to happen here? Destroy nothing. Oh no, destroy the 2 drops. Goodbye 2 drops. It's close. It's so close! Is this going to be a problem? Is there a combo here? Alright, what is our opponent looking for? They can get a few things in play. Our opponent has it. It's over. Not enough interaction. Well, it was close. It was pretty damn close. Okay, hold on. They've got... Where's Thassa's Oracle here? They might have an alternate way of winning the game anyway. Yeah, I'm just curious. What's on the top of my deck that was coming? Master of the Pearl Trident. I have no idea if that was good enough. But anyway, we're going to concede. Looks like our opponent finally assembled their victory in the end. So, anyway, that was our first round against Breach. That's not much to say. I mulliganed to 5 in both games. So, we were at like a really big disadvantage. And on top of that, I was on the draw in game 1. It's not very convenient against such an aggressive combo deck. I think Merfolk has a lot of game. I think we have a lot of game against this. This match was really the match was not close, but this game, despite going to 5, was a lot closer than it looked. However, you know, little clunky, but still will usually I think pull it through for us. Anyway, that was round 1. Let's move on to round 2. So we won the die roll in round 2. The hand is fine. It's a bit aggro. We've got a 1-drop into a 2-drop, and we have got a Mutavault, and I am more than willing to force a negation, pitch this Spreading Seas. So a decent start. Another Astrolabe deck. Go for it. Now that is a unique snow-covered island, though. Just in case this is a control deck playing Field of Ruin, I'm going to hold back the Castle Vantress for as long as possible so that they don't Field of Ruin the damn thing. I mean, we might be up against another Breach deck for all I know. And there comes Astrolabe. A land. Okay. See, this is why Spreading Seas is garbage these days. This is why Spreading Seas is garb. Play Mutavault and... You know what? I am not going to pump up Benthic Biomancer. I'm going to wait until my at the end of my opponent's turn. Let's say this is Breach again. They play Teferi. I'm just going to want to hard cast the Force of Negation. It looks like it is Breach again. Or if they play Grinding Station or something, I don't know. Oh! A little something different. Yeah, we'll dump this, I guess. A little pain to do this because this tells me we're up against a control deck now. Okay, so let's say you play Ice Fang Quaddle. Does it have Death Touch? It is a snow creature, and there are 3 other snow permanents on the battlefield. Because these Arcum's Astrolabes, they can be sneaky. It's a sneaky card. Well, I am going to play around... I'm going to play around Ice Fang. By just attacking with these 2 creatures. Okay, this is okay. Gonna land. I guess pass, there's nothing else I can do. Do have one of your 2 verdicts in your deck. If you are a... I mean, I'm not even sure what we're up against. Bant, probably Bant. Bant something. Bant something for sure. I'm going to crack the Waterlog Grove. I would like to draw like a Merfolk Trickster. That would be... That's... okay. Ooh, Mutavault's nice too. Okay, let's attack with both these creatures. What's going on here? Oh, Cryptic Command. That's worth force negating, so we don't see that again. Getting rid of Mana Leak. Okay, you win. I played a land. Alright, pass. So now we have some like insurance if they play like Verdict here. Okay. Look, I'm holding on to that. Well, I mean, I guess I would rather they eat the Castle Vantress than my Mutavault. Ugh, is there anything I can bounce here? With the Brazen, I guess not. There's nothing worth bouncing. I don't want to bounce their Astrolabe back to their hand. Okay, so this is going to eat up a turn. They might have a lot of counter magic. Okay, no matter what, we're doing this. Trickster is great. Okay, we killed Fairy. Because you are an absolute pain in the ass. Still have nothing to do with the Spreading Seas, and we'll pass. I think this is a Stoneblade deck. Okay, there's some of the green mana. Six mana is a bit unsettling, because then that's like, what's it called? Jace the Mind Sculptor. Okay. Draw 3 cards. So what if I bounce you here? Then what if you tap out? Can I win next turn? No. I sense like a mana leak. win a few mana leak. Then you are tapped out. If I play 2 lords, I put you to 1. Now if you verdict, that would hurt. Let's say top deck a land. Okay, I'll petty theft this. Seems like a good opportunity. So if they want to use Jace again, they have to spend 4 mana to do it. And I don't want to commit any more creatures to the battlefield. I will be willing to play a Lord of Atlantis next turn. Because that could deal 6 damage, and then either Brazen Bar or Merfolk Trickster can finish our opponent off. I can play Reejerey. No, but if I play Reejerey, they can play Mana Leak. They clearly showed that they had it. That's a very interesting decision, because they're still taking damage here. Oh, they have another Path to Exile. Okay. You know, for some reason I thought they were going to play Verdict here. I don't know why. I thought they were going to play Verdict. Okay, that resolves. They're going to bounce this. So they have a plan for this card? I guess so. Like, I hope not, but... I think my opponent's saying that they can draw that card. Oh yeah, they can draw that card all right. Okay, so they have the card in hand. They let us draw a card. I mean, if we drew, for example, Force a Negation, they would be so crushed, because now we force negate that stupid thing, and then we can play an Island Walker and then kill the Jace. I think I want to use this as fuel for the Benthic Biomancer. They have a Path to Exile in hand. Well, I'm not gonna lie. We have to win like really quickly, because this Jace can take over really fast. No doubt about that. Okay, so what do we got to do? How do I deploy my hand as efficiently as possible? Okay, let's start with Benthic Biomancer. I mean, I've got a pretty good hand to win. I mean, they returned Path to Exile, which means their resources are sort of low. Another Reejerey. I'm gonna just dump this Spreading Seas. And we're just gonna pass. I just have to hope this Jace cannot find a well, a lot of things. No Cryptic Command, no Supreme Verdict. Alright, we're gonna do something here. Do not untap it. Okay, this does come into play. Tap down the Quaddle. Okay, even at sorcery speed, not very powerful. But no verdict, no verdict, no verdict. Imagine how different this game, though, is if Benthic Biomancer was a Cometa speaker. Oh, God. I don't think that's good news. Oh, they got verdict. They super have verdict. So how can I play? Can I play around this in any way? I guess not. Oh no! They got Cryptic Command! Damn it. I could probably, like, Castle Vantress into something. Okay. So the game's afoot. I'm gonna keep the Snow-Covered Island in my hand just in case. Like, I have so much mana. Or do I have enough for... Yeah, I could definitely look for Force of Negation. But now our opponent is probably going to start Cryptic Commanding at our upkeep. They should be doing that anyway. They take such a... Well, okay, maybe not. Maybe... No, on that turn, they were going to tap themselves out. Well, that's got to be good news when they, like, bounce your Merfolk Trickster. I mean, they could easily have just, like, bounced their Icefang Quaddle for more value. Okay, there's Stoneforge Mystic. Getting the Batter Skull. Okay, so hopefully we find Force Negation. It's just an easy victory. None of these are Force Negation. Let's put this on the bottom, because the only thing we're concerned about right now is Cryptic Command. Or like Snapcaster Mage Cryptic Command. I want to say we have time, but we don't really have time. Okay, what if I play this Trickster right now? You know, if I could take that back, I would play Reejerey first, play Lord of Atlantis, and then hold the Trickster up to just like... Oh no, I can't play anything at instant speed, so it doesn't matter because of the Teferi. So what do I do now? Lord of Atlantis? But I want to still give myself the chance to get Castle Vantress. So my opponent's clock is really bad right now. Okay, I guess let's try to attack for the win. I don't think this is going to work. Oh, don't tell me you can block enough stuff. Because I easily could have played a Lord of Atlantis or something. Ah, no! Being conservative has not paid off. So my opponent goes to 1. Okay, we'll play this poor bastard. I guess we still have another turn. Batter Skull will not be the end of the world. Yet. But here's Uro, which is not useful. I guess our opponent does not know about our Lord of Atlantis in hand. Still pretty tough for it to matter. If they tap out for this Uro, that's got to be good news for us. Turn a creature or land card from a graveyard to its owner's hand. You gain 6 life. They got Field of Ruin? What does that matter? I can still deal more damage. But they're holding up mana. They're holding up a lot of mana. They might Field of Ruin in response, but that's okay. Benthic, Biomancer, and Brazen Borrower. This can't be played at flash speed, so we'll just bottom both of these. Or should I put something on top just to bluff? You know what? I'll put this thing on top. Okay, bluff didn't work. Okay. Force my opponent to make a decision with this Batterskull. Ugh, they've made their decision. Oh god. We're gonna get Supreme Verdicted here. I mean, maybe our opponent had Supreme Verdict the entire time and they were, like, not playing it. Hard to tell. But, okay, it's now or never. Another Cryptic? Oh, it's gonna be Verdict at flash speed. Okay, I can just concede from here. This is impossible. Okay, we'll go on to game 2. I'm relatively confident in this matchup. I think I'm relatively confident in this matchup. We're going to bring in Force of Negation. We'll bring in Relic because it interacts with Snapcaster Mage, Uro. Actually, I don't even know if they have Snapcaster Mage in this deck. I didn't see it. We'll bring in... Okay, that's all we're going to bring in. We'll take out 2 Spreading Seas and an Island. Because, you know, they're going to churn all the islands out of my deck. I think that's it. That's all I'm going to do. I'm pretty happy. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to be happy about it. This hand is almost great because of the hand is close to great, but it's not great. No, I'm going to mulligan it. I'd rather curve out than do nothing at all. Oh my god, this league! Mulligan? Okay, mulligan. Well, this is definitely mulligan to 3 cards, so I have to keep 4. Okay, we'll keep this. Dump. 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 Alright, let's go! Let's do this! It's not the greatest showing for Mono Blue Merfolk, but we're going to do our best. I'm drawing stuff. Some good news. Oh, I bet our opportunity to go all in was that maybe that turn they played 2 Icefang Quaddles. Stoneforge Mystic. This so far is very good for us. So far, this is very good. One more Island Walk Lord would be perfect. That is pretty good, too. Oh, I'll play the Benthic Biomancer, though. Or do I? Yeah, that just puts more bodies on the battlefield. What's good about Brazen Borrower is they're going to activate Stoneforge Mystic and we can just bounce the Germ token. Astrolabe. Here we go. Well, they might have Force Negation. That'd be terrible. But we're not in really a position to play around anything, so I don't mind. Okay, so we get in damage. So I play this island. I'm going to play the island just in case I draw another land, and it might help me activate both Benthic Biomancers. That might be a thing. Our opponent has Cryptic Mana up, but apparently not. Ooh, that's pretty good too. It's a good draw. If our opponent tries to surprise us with something like this, we can dismember it, which is okay. Before it does anything, we'll kill it. Oh, God. Well, that's not good. Alright, I'm going to lose my Lord of Atlantis. We'll deal 5 damage, though. And we can threaten a Brazen Borrower on future turns. Okay, we're going to do 2 damage. This is like partially why you want to the game to go on very short against Stoneblade. Because once they stabilize and start gaining like a lot of life with Batterskull, actually with 1 more land they can just equip it to this thing, right? Equip for 5, gain 5 life. Not bad. Yep. Vigilance lifelink. Please. This is late. What can we do here? Activate this, I guess. Find an Island Walk Lord. No Island Walk Lord. Oh, how much longer can I play this game before I decide to resign? I guess a little bit longer. There is an outside chance our opponent just has lands. We eventually find, I don't know, something. And get back in here. We have 3 turns. Not a good draw. Not good to see. It's too bad. Maybe I still sort of like my attack with the Lord of Atlantis. Like I didn't have any problem with Ice Fang Quaddle, but the Ice Fang Quaddle into Veil of Summer was too much. But, you know, maybe in theory, I could just attack with the 2 creatures. And then just pass the turn. Maybe that was a safer and still aggressive play. Well, wait. They had a Path to Exile, so it didn't matter. I just got blown out anyway. Okay, we're dead. This is over. This is super over. Although in this game we had to mulligan to 4. So this really, so far this league has not really represented mono blue Merfolk very well. The losing mostly has to do with how much we've had to mulligan. You know, we get one land hand into no land into no land into no land. So far the league doesn't matter to me. We haven't seen the true power of Merfolk at all. We've just seen what happens if you have to mulligan to 5 versus players that keep 7. But anyway, that was round 2. Let's move on to round 3. I won the die roll, but the hand can't curve out given the Mutavault. Waterlogged Grove looks pretty painful given the slow nature of the hand, so we have to mulligan. This hand is bearable. We can keep this. At least we have something to do on turn 1. I'll get rid of the Spreading Seas. We don't even have an Island Walker in hand. Our opponent at least mulligan, so we're on a even battlefield, even footing. Castle Garenbrig, so we're up against Amulet. Our hand would be better with a 1-drop, but, you know, given that we have 2 Reejereys, I think this is going to do. If we can draw a Trickster, that would be nice, because with Trickster and Reejerey, we can do some fancy stuff, tapping our opponent's lands at their on their turn. Ugh. We can empty our hand. Next turn we can play Reejerey, untap land, play Master of the Pearl Trident, untap 2 lands, and have room for Dismember. Oh, it's Titan Shift. Oh, that's been a while. So this hand is very good in my opinion, because now we're going to get our creatures to 3 power. See, it's not Merfolk Mistbinder, but you know what? It's not that bad. It's not that bad. I guess we'll tap our opponent's creature to get through our damage. We are threatening lethal next turn. And like Anger of the Gods doesn't do anything here. Neither will this card. Might as well just kill this thing right now. Make them lose all their hopes and dreams. Actually, maybe I need to. What if they find a fetch land? If they find a fetch land, play it. It might be awkward. No, I guess it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. So is it? I guess it looks like Titan Shift. It looks like Titan Shift. So the nature of Titan Shift, we want Force Negation. 2 Spreading Seas are fine, and well, we might want more actually if it's Titan Shift. I think we still want Ashok against Titan Shift. If this is Titan Shift, I don't really want Dismember. Is that it? I don't mind having some Spreading Seas just to Spreading Seas the Valakut. And also, yeah, we need more Spreading Seas. Maybe Spreading Seas is more important than Ashok. No, but Ashok's pretty good. Ashok's pretty good. I like Ashok, but I need more Spreading Seas. Spreading Seas to hit the Valakut so they don't get any stupid triggers. And also just give us some Island Walk when they have this board of like 1,000,000 zombies. Just be able to push through those final points of damage. I'll get rid of some Silver Gills for the Spreading Seas. Okay, I'll just get rid. This is sort of a matchup. I don't know if I want to flood out on Spreading Seas. I don't mind having one, but having multiples is like sort of why I might want to trim on the Spreading Seas in the future. I don't like this hand. It's slow. It's like not very interactive. I'm gonna mulligan. This hand's better. It's not interactive, but at least there's like a pretty decent plan to deploy all our creatures I'll get rid of the Brazen Borrower. We can always, if we draw more lands, we can always dig with the Benthic Biomancer. So we're going to save the Spreading Seas for the proper time. Very likely I'm just going to play a Lord of Atlantis and then pass. Not commit too many stuff to the board yet. I mean, I'm definitely going to play Benthic Biomancer at end of turn, but... And now that I have Benthic Biomancer in my hand, do I expose... Do I take my Val up to 3? Well, they can get Titan in play next turn. Well, they can get Titan in play next turn anyway. Okay, I'll take this up again. A bit frustrating. Well, we've got nothing. So I'm just gonna tick this thing up. Ooh, we got Ashok, so we really need to get another land. I will dump. If they have Titan next turn, we have to dump Ashok. If they don't have Titan next turn, and they're going to go for, say, Scape Shift, we want to keep the Ashok. I'm going to dump Benthic Biomancer because it's just awkward getting this card into play. I'm not going to play Lord of Atlantis right now for that 1 point of damage because I don't want to expose myself against a... what's going on here? Okay, so here comes the zombies. Because I don't want to expose myself to an Anger of the Gods. What do I want to do here? I guess no. Okay, let's Spreading Seas, Field of the Dead. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there's so few mountains here. Got my island. Let's attack for 3. That sucks. Okay, so we're going to trade with the stupid zombie. And I guess given that we know... Yeah, I guess I regret not putting this to 3 given, like, Reejerey's in my hand. Oops, I forgot. I meant to play Aether Vial that turn. Alright, we live to see another day. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4. Still a little ways away. Oops, cancel. Oh no! Ash are gonna get beaten in the face with mountains soon. Unless I found a Spreading Seas for the Valakut. Here we go. Given the board state, I'm pretty happy to see the Silvergill Adept. We need more cards. So here's the interesting thing. Is Valakut gonna go after my Ashok or my creatures? They're definitely gonna get the mountains. Just imagine how different this game would be if I viled this stupid Reejerey in play. I would have smacked my opponent for more damage. And that Benthic Biomancer would be on the battlefield. So this is just one of those games where, I don't know, we have game, but of course, they could just win out of nowhere. Absolute nowhere. I wonder if they have Primeval Titan in their hand. And they're like, is it wise to cast this damn thing? Oh, maybe they have Primeval Titan in their hand, and... Oh, sorry, they don't. They have Summoner's Pact in their hand. Oh, I forgot about Summoner's Pact. I should have brought into Chalice of the Void to put on 0. They have Summoner's Pact in their hand, and they don't have much green mana. They only have 2 sources. And they were going to play the Primeval Titan, and then after that, they cannot... if we have Spreading Seas, they can't pay for the Summoner's Pact cost. They're just going to die. So I think that's their dilemma here. If they're thinking about anything, because there's like not much to think about in this deck. They also have one other unknown card that we don't know about. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Or maybe they're double queuing. Maybe they're double queuing. They don't know what to do. Or maybe they have Veil of Summers and stuff like that. This has to be always no. Not beautiful. Okay, let's attack. Untap a land here. And we can like Silvergill adapt at end of turn and even adapt this Benthic Biomancer. How much more do we have to fade? So other things I'm thinking, so do they have Veil of Summer in their hand? They have to have some sort of interactive card that is just whiffing here. If they had Veil of Summer, casting it when we had Benthic Biomancer was probably a good deal. Okay, so they can now shoot something for 3. I'm going to cycle this thing away if I find something better. Ooh, that's a good one. So I'm going to attack for 6 this turn. Yeah, I'm going to keep the Mutavault. I think I'm going to keep that. I think the Mutavault's better. Our opponent has disconnected. So Titan Shift is just not an archetype you're seeing right now. It's sort of been just pushed out because of Amulet. Amulet is just... I mean, because they can now play Valakut the Molten Pinnacle in their Dryad of Elysian Grove Amulet deck. It's just a better version of Amulet. Well, I'm not sure if it's a better version. Well, it's clearly doing better on the scoreboard. I mean, there's way more results for Amulet than there are for Titan Shift. They do very similar, like, if your plan is to play, like, Dryad of the Elysian Grove and Valakut the Molten Pinnacle, maybe Amulet is just a better deck. Or maybe Amulet was a clearly better deck with Once Upon a Time. Maybe Once Upon a Time made it just a clearly better deck. And Titan Shift, now without Once Upon a Time in the format, has some advantages that I don't know about. But I don't know about them. I don't know what's the advantage of playing Titan Shift right now. So what I expect is this Wooded Foothills is going to crack. It's going to kill our Reejerey. We're going to attack for 6 between the Mutavault, Benthic Biomancer, and Silvergill Adapt. I'm going to play Mutavault. Our opponent will be at 5, and even if they get one more mountain to kill a creature, we should be able to attack for lethal. Even if they play Primeval Titan as a 6/6 blocker, we have enough to kill them. And they do have to kill something, because we have 11 damage on the battlefield, so if their plan was, like, crack or save the Wooded Foothills to kill Ashiok, play another, or sorry, not to deal 3 damage to Ashiok, then play another land, deal 3 damage to Ashiok, and then play Primeval Titan, that's not going to work. Or Scape Shift. Is Ashiok holding the balance. So I tried to like buy the Japanese version with the Japanese art. It's like 33 ticks. It's something ungodly expensive. Or it's more than that. It's like 36. And I'm like, okay, we're putting this back. This version is $1. The Japanese version online, $36. Not worth it in my opinion. Nice art, but do you know what? I'm not so much in love with that art that I need it for 36 ticks. They can keep it. When it came to Ether Vials, I can't remember what I spent on these Ether Vials, but it was like really good. It was expensive. I think I paid through the nose for these Ether Vials. I don't know what they're worth now. Probably cheap. But at the time when they first broke out, it's hard to get them. Very hard to get them. I paid quality money for these. I told the human bots, when you find them, you contact me. I need more. I couldn't find them with the normal bots. I had to contact the human bots. The human bots, they've been scouring the entire internet for Masterpiece Ether Vials. Here, our opponent's back. They have joined the game. They might have some internet problems right now, though. Hey, let's not forget, we get to still draw a card. We are drawing a card still this turn. If we draw a Lord, it changes nothing. What's the best card we could draw? Maybe Force of Negation? Maybe Silver Gill Adept. Maybe just more Silver Gill Adepts. All right. What's going to happen? Ugh. Yeah, game's just running slow because our opponent has some internet problems. But it's not an indication that they have any decision to make. I think this should be a good matchup for us. Better than... well, I mean, I'll admit the Titan Shift matchup definitely got worse when they printed Veil of Summer, so now that they can go straight to Scape Shift and just cast Veil of Summer, and then that's it. Although, I have to see what this deck looks like. Maybe it's not running Scape Shift because they're playing with Dryad of the Elysian Grove and they're just trying to lean hard on that interaction between the Dryad and Valakut. I have to admit that interaction is deadly. I mean, once they get to 6 lands in play, they just start shooting everything that you have on the battlefield, and it's disgusting. It's awful. Love to know in the comments section if you've moved to Simic or if you're on Mono Blue, because I have reviewed my Patreon history and I have put up a lot of Simic content and not enough like Mono Blue Merfolk sideboard guides, and I have no problem making a sideboard guide for a list like this for the people who either haven't moved to Simic or they can't afford Simic. Like, it's a little bit more expensive. You have to buy the waterlogged groves. Those aren't cheap. It's not to say, like, I mean, you don't need to run Chalice of the Void, but my recent Simic lists have been running Chalice of the Void. But, you know, maybe it will be a little bit easier on people's wallets now that I'm playing with Master of Waves, which we have not seen any play out of. It's not even clear that it's good here anymore. I mean, I used to play, you know what, I never really liked Master of Waves in this matchup because of Valakut. Now it's just gotten worse because of Dryad of the Elysian Grove. This deals 3 damage, but it's colorless. So your Master of Waves protection from red will not protect you from Valakut the Molten Pinnacle. It's a colorless source. I remember just watching a side event because I was in it, and I was watching a match between Affinity and Titan Shift because the winner would play me. And the board state was like really, how can I put it? The Affinity player had Etched Champion in play with Metalcraft, and so it had protection from all colors. But he wasn't being aggressive, and he wasn't being properly defensive because of the threat of Valakut, and I could tell that he's trying to play around Valakut when there was no reason to. Like, he was taking lines because he just assumed that his Etched Champion would get shot down, and he had to play more careful. And then at the end of the round, I explained to him, and he was in a huge, like, oh moment. And I explained that, Valakut is colorless. It's a colorless source. The card is very red. Look how red it is. But just because the art is red does not mean that your creatures will have protection against it. I had a friend who played with some snow synergies many years ago, and I can't remember what the cards were. Like, they were like really old snow lands, or snow cards. And then it said if you controlled like a snow-covered plains or something, then you get some ability. And he was just playing with normal plains that had the picture of snow on it. And I said, no, it has nothing to do with the art. It has to do with the name. There is literally snow-covered plains in this game. You have to play with snow-covered plains. And he's like, what, really? Then he looks up snow-covered plains, and sure enough, and then he was like, oh, you're right! There's actual cards called snow-covered plains. I thought it was just the picture. There's all sorts of arts that have nothing to do with the land itself. There's like forests that look like swamps. There's islands that have no island in it. It's just like a lake. It's a lake in the middle of a plains. The art doesn't matter. It's all in the name. Okay, I have a new theory. Okay, either our opponent has massive connection problems, or they are intentionally squeezing my time right now. They have conveniently disconnected and then reconnected like every 4 minutes. Let's see how long this lasts. No, I have to give my opponent the benefit because they can still interact here. They're not dead. They can at least shoot this down. They're not dead on board. It's a grim situation. It looks ugly, but it's not over. So let's talk about some potential lines that could happen. Let's say we draw a donut. Let's say we draw an island. So they could fetch, kill Mutavault. They take 8 damage, go to 3, and then if they top deck Anger of the Gods, they would still be in it because our Mutavault doesn't deal lethal damage next turn. Oh no, it does because they have to fetch. They go down to 10. Okay, I forgot about that. So that's not a line. So they still have to fetch, kill Reejerey, which means my math earlier was wrong. They'll take 6, go to 4, not 5, and then there's like no way they can block all the creatures. I'm sure people have already written in the comments section, Nikachu, they're going to die. They're going to go from 5 to 4, and then they're going to edit it saying, oh, you figured it out. 20 minutes later. Well, I hope you like my ramblings, because like nothing's happening here. I know we just lost to 2 Arkham's Astrolabe decks, but I actually think those are good for Merfolk right now. The more Arkham's Astrolabe, the better. Because generally, so far, it's all island decks. It's all decks that want to run islands. Sultai, Dimir, Jeskai, Bant. They're all island decks. Arkham's Astrolabe is basically being put in all the control decks. And that's good. That's good for Merfolk. I was happy with that Stoneblade matchup, and maybe I screwed it up in Game 1. Game 2, I basically had no chance. I just mulliganed to Oblivion. But that's good to know. They're bringing in Veil of Summer against us. I guess that's fair. I mean, I would counter their Force of Negation or any of their Planeswalkers if I could. And if you notice, I'm not super high on Deprive right now, partially because of Veil of Summer. Like, players have... we won the match because our opponent just was gone. I apologize to your internet connection. Blame your internet service provider. But to finish off the discussion about Veil of Summer, like, I'm not super confident in counterspells right now because Veil of Summer is a good way to fight back against Deprive, and I think we should interact in different ways and be as aggressive as possible. So anyway, that was round 3. Let's move on to round 4. We lost the die roll. The hand is okay. Maybe like this extra Ether Vial is a bit annoying, but I'll keep it. We are up against humans, and I think this hand is going to end up being really good. Question is, do I play the second Ether Vial? I guess I will, just because the Ether Vials in the long run are usually pretty good. Well, let's see what they do for turn 2. If they start playing like Mantis Riders, maybe I have to start slowing them down with like Merfolk Trickster or something. Champion of the Parish. Maybe they don't have anything. They don't have much mana. Oh, no, they got mana. What do they have to do? If I peel a land, I guess I'm going to play Merfolk Trickster instead of Ether Vial. I do peel that land. So I can just continue to play things and eventually play Mutavault and Ether Vial, and that will be fine. What do they have? I don't know. It could be a hand with like a lot of Reflector Mages or something. I am looking to like hit the Champion of the Parish. Yeah, we're gonna hit this Champion of the Parish. Make sure they don't gain any counters. I'll take 4. I don't like taking 4, but I'm going to take 4. We're not in that bad a shape. But I would prefer to draw more cards. Okay, so we're going to play this, attack for 3. I think that's it. We'll play a Silvergill Adept at end of turn. Alright, pass. If there's a Reflector Mage on our Master of the Pearl Trident, not the end of the world. We can at least Vial it in with Ether Vial, and then we can hardcast this Lord of Atlantis with the mana that we have. But, I mean, there's still a reasonable chance our opponent can try to race us. It doesn't take much. Do they have, like, another Mantis Rider? What is going on here? There's probably a Reflector Mage somewhere in their hand. I don't know. Whenever the start is, like, relatively slow... Well, it's got to be a bunch of 3-drops. So they started off with turn 2... Champion of the Parish. Or maybe they top deck that. Because they play turn 1 Noble Hierarch, turn 2 Champion of the Parish. Maybe they top deck this. Because if I were in their spot, I would play turn 1 Champion of the Parish, turn 2 Noble Hierarch, get the counter, attack for 3. So I think their hand is just full. They played Noble Hierarch on turn 1 in order to play their 3-drops. This being one of them. And they now have a decision between playing a Mantis Rider or a Reflector Mage. If they play the Mantis Rider, Champion of the Parish gets bigger, but if they attack with everything, I can just play another Lord and eat up their Champion of the Parish. And I have a decent clock on the way back. So I think that's their decision. They got 5 mana, but it's just 3 drops. And even if they play Reflector Mage, Champion of the Parish gets bigger, but like, what does it matter? Oh my god, I haven't seen this in many a moon. Enters the battlefield, we get hit for 4. Alright. I was not expecting that, but sure. Oh, our opponent is just double queuing. Or maybe they were calculating, like, to make sure that this was, like, the best possible route for victory. But I think they're double queuing. Well, I have to block this or I die, so we'll put Silvergill Adept in play. And we need to find a Trickster to deal with this Mantis Rider in the future. That's not it. Take 3. Go to 3. Trying to figure out how I win. I guess I'm going to take this up to 3. And we still have to hope. If we top deck a Trickster, we still have a chance. Not Trickster. Alright, so let's do our best. If we need to untap this Mutavault, we still can with the Lord of Atlantis. Trickster? Boo! Okay, so this... Could untap a land to play my last Lord. That's not useful. Problem is our opponent has, like... It's really hard for them to go wrong here. Damn Kessick Malcontents. So I was right. They had 3 drops in their hand. They had tons of 3 drops. Humans, not usually a good matchup for mono blue unless I've got like a lot of good interaction. I honestly don't really have that much interaction for humans right now. It's not really one of the decks to beat. Not that it's a dead deck or anything, but... Well, we'll say in this version, you know, Merrow Reejerey won't be too bad. We're dead. We do not have it. Alright, so... Okay, don't want Force of Negation. Probably just want Master of Waves. Maybe that's it. That's all I want to do. I'm not really in love with Spreading Seas against them anymore. It's clunky if they've got Thalia out. It's like, you really just want to play creatures and then just try to run them over. I think this is the best thing that we can do. Master of Waves is clunky, but hey, it can still do the job. Maybe a Master of Waves is more important than a Silvergill Adept if I'm allowed to change that. This sometimes can be about card advantage, but usually it isn't. So I have 2 Spreading Seas still in the deck because you still want some. This is not a keepable hand. The Spreading Seas. I'll dump it. I'll keep this, and we'll dump the seas. A Mutavault, Ether Vial. I'll give myself the option to attack with it, but I might not. I might just play Silvergill Adept and pass. Okay, so this is a spot where I'm going to play the Brazen Borrower. That's a bad draw. So this should significantly slow them down, because if they want to play Ether Vial in their turn 2, then that means they're not going to play any of their 2 drops, which are pretty valuable. Okay. Another Ether Vial. Okay. So it wasn't too bad for them because they had a bunch of 1-drops. This league! What is with this league? This is terrible. I don't want this. This is just downright awful. Well, I'm lacking damage output, so I might as well attack. Because I need to make the best use of my... I think I need to make the best use of my Ether Vial mana. If I draw an island, I'll cast the Brazen Borrower. I'll take a turn to cast it. Okay, so they don't have another 2-drop. Otherwise, they would have attacked with the Champion of the Parish. Or sorry, they don't have another 1-drop. Otherwise, they would have attacked with the Champion of the Parish. Another Borrower. That's interesting. That is interesting. I think, well, I'm probably going to bounce this Ether Vial because if I bounce a creature, it'll just come back into play and the Ether Vial will empty their hand. At least bouncing this Ether Vial will... Assuming they don't play more lands, it will tax their mana. I just want to know, do I want to be aggressive here? I guess I should try to be defensive. It could backfire on me, but I would prefer to try to be able to block this stupid Champion of the Parish with the Silvergill Adept if I'm given the option. This game would be a hell lot better if these Ether Vials were creatures. I could have played Silvergill Adept with the Mutavault and Island and played Lord of Atlantis with the intention of playing more things with this thing, but unfortunately I drew 2 Ether Vials. The Brazen Borrowers are like fine. I at least have some answers to the Mantis Rider, hopefully not too far down the line. Okay. Wow, so much mana. I have Brazen Borrower for their Ether Vial, and it's like it doesn't matter. They only have 19 lands. Okay. Well, we're just dead. We're just stone. We can't come back from this. This is impossible. Lord of Atlantis, double block. I guess that's what we have to do. But then, like, chump blocking these Mantis Riders are going to be so hard. Because they can just attack with 1 with Noble Hierarch. So we're going to tick this thing up again. We're going to tick this thing up. Not that it matters. Well, this could help. Or maybe not this immediate turn. They can still attack for 6. Kitesail Freebooter. Kill off 1 Mantis Rider. Not that matters. Take our Ether Vial. Our opponent has so many lands. Like, this game might be a lot easier if they had, like, I don't know, a 1 land or 2 land hand with Ether Vial. Then these Mantis Riders wouldn't have, like, came out so quickly. Being able to bounce an Ether Vial in a Vial mirror is usually, like, pretty good. It's a pretty big blowout. It slows one side down by a lot. And they're curving perfectly out right now. I think I'm drawing dead at this point because I can't block both of them. It's pretty impossible. And my opponent's like life total is very, very high. Yeah, we are... Yeah, we're just dead. Alright, we lose to humans. 0-2. It's a pretty uneventful league right now. We're just running super cold. It's not a good it's not a good showing. It's not a good showing for Merfolk. I'm just mulliganing a lot or just like drawing really, really crappy. But whatever, that happens. I'm gonna definitely play another league with this for the future. But anyway, that was round 4. Let's move on to round 5. We won the die roll, and this is frankly like the best hand we've had all day. Especially on the play. So we get to play turn 1 Benthic Biomancer into a bunch of lords, and then Spreading Seas if we really need the island walk. How could this go wrong? How could this go wrong? We're up against another Chew, Barbarachu. Nikachu versus Barbarachu. Barbarachu. Or maybe it's Barbarichu? I don't know. Chew versus Chew. Okay, Benthic Biomancer. This is not a surprise. I don't know, I feel like all my opponents are playing like incredibly slow. Either they're all double queuing or there's like some serious lag going on right now for Magic the Gathering Online. Actually, I tried to yield through it, but I probably shouldn't. Boreal Grazer. So this is some sort of amulet deck? Or, I don't know what this is. Okay. What plays a Boreal Grazer these days? It's definitely a card being played. Immediately, we're showing the difference between Simic and Mono Blue again. Like, my next turn I can attack into this Boreal Grazer. This turn I can't. Oh no, I can! They put an island in play. Thank you! You put an island in play against the Island Walk deck. But if it wasn't an island, and here, this is a great situation where, or a great example of just playing Lords over the Silvergill Adept. Like, this is not going to this is going to slow our clock down by a lot if we took the time to play Silvergill Adept. It's not worth it. Like, what are we trying to draw? Nothing. Just get in the beats. Attack for 2 this turn. Next turn, attack for 6. And then after that, I think we attack for lethal. It's actually a 4-turn clock from here, if our opponent doesn't interact with us. It's a 4-turn clock. But what is our opponent playing? Mystic Sanctuary and a Boreal Grazer in the same deck for. Search for his Kanta. That's an oldie that I haven't seen in a long time either. I think we're up against a jank brew, but I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with this sort of list at all. Actually, cancel. Might as well not take damage if I don't have to. So I guess they have Cryptic Command, at the very least. If you're playing Mystic Sanctuary, you gotta have Cryptic Command. Some sort of blue-green deck. Is this like Simic Nexus? It is! It is! Ooh! It's Simic Nexus, Wilderness Reclamation. I've not seen that in many a moon. I've not seen that in a while. Okay, so they get to untap a bunch of mana. Is that enough? Will that do anything? I guess they can fog me or something. I'm going to play the Lord of Atlantis. If something happens that I don't win, then I can play Spreading Seas on the Blast Zone. Gives them Cryptic Command mana, but, like, whatever. Okay, we won. I'm not sure how they would have planned to interact with us, but that was the plan. So we have to keep some Spreading Seas in the deck for Azcanta when it flips, and also for Blast Zone. Definitely bring in Force Negation for Wilderness Reclamation. I have no idea what's in this deck. I have no idea. I assume Dismember is not good. Probably want to be low to the ground, so I don't want Master of Waves. Maybe I want Relic, because they did have Mystic Sanctuary. I don't know, Chalice of the Void might... it probably is not good. But we're gonna just keep it at that. I assume this is a good matchup, but I don't know. We had a good hand. I can keep this. They mulliganed. For once our opponent mulligans, we don't. This hand is satisfactory. Lumbering Falls. Actually, more reason to have Spreading Seas in the deck. There's a chance I'm going to attack with this next turn, so I'll play this. If our opponent has blue mana up, I'm going to be very wary of Mystical Dispute, and so I won't cast a Silvergill Adept. Probably I should not cast a Silvergill Adept, period. Because then I have nothing to do with my Ether Vial when it gets to 2 mana. Or sorry, it gets to 2 counters. That's good. Keep them coming. Okay, we'll attack with the Mutavault. Growth Spiral, sure. Draw a card, activate this ability, only if you have the City's Blessing. Sure. When I get to 3 mana, I'm probably gonna stop attacking with Mutavault so I can hold up Force Negation. Are they gonna play Wilderness Reclamation right now? You know what? I'm gonna force this, and I'm gonna pitch the Reejerey because I don't want it. I want to hold up my mana for Force Negation in the future, and I also don't want to tick the Vial up to 3. Don't know how I feel about that, but whatever. So attack for 1, just pass. If they play another Wilderness Reclamation, we'll force negate that too! Blast Zone. Ugly. Fact or fiction? Now we're definitely going to counter that. Oh, let's hope no Mystical Dispute. Or that. Okay, that's pretty good. It's been many a moon since an opponent plays fact or fiction on me. That is not a good fact or fiction, in my opinion. I'm not sure what the best line should be, but this is what I'm going to do. They decide to take the Mystic Sanctuary. So what am I looking for now? Spreading Seas, I guess, so I can hit this stupid Blast Zone. Ooh, nice. Nice. They have Growth Spiral and something else. Situation is still difficult. Oh yeah, this Mystic Sanctuary doesn't even come into play untapped. There's like not even enough islands. No! Alright, we try to counter this. Okay, opt. Which means it's not going to be... this thing's gonna get countered. Okay, what do we want? We want a Lord. When do we want it? Now! We have a lot of shots at this Lord. Okay, put this in play. There's the Lord. Sweet. Attack for victory. Alright, so we beat the Nexus deck. Easy peasy. I don't know if this is supposed to be a good matchup. I can see that they have a lot of game with this Blast Zone. Oh, I said good game. Alright, good game back. Oh! They said that they're a big fan. Thanks. Anyway, we'll return to the details. So this was, like I said, this was not the greatest league. Lady Luck was not on our side whatsoever. This was just an abomination of luck. A lot of mulligans, a lot of immediately bad top decks in matchups that were already going short, like against humans. The game's gonna last like 5 turns. And out of our 5 draws, we draw 2 Ether Vials. Like, really? Seriously? That's what you're going to feed us? Yeah, we really need 2 more Ether Vials after the first one. So, not the greatest showing for... Well, I mean, like, the deck is fine. The deck is fine. Clearly, I would prefer to be playing Simic because, again, Kumena Speaker, and I really can't speak enough to it. Kumena Speaker matters so much. To Merfolk right now, just to put enough pressure to beat put a lot more pressure on our opponents than Benthic Biomancer. But this deck, this mono blue, should still have a lot of game. There's no reason I think that this deck is like so much inferior to the Simic version that I think this should have a lot of game. Disappointingly, we did not see any play out of Master of Waves. We saw nothing. We weren't paired up against Burn or Mono Red Prowess or any attrition based deck. I'm sure it would have been okay against humans. Not the greatest, but it's okay. It's clunky, but if they don't have Reflector Mage, hey, a bunch of elementals will do the job. But I would really like to see how it's going to perform against those red decks. But aside from that, I think the list is fine, and I just hope we're going to run better next week. So anyway, that's our league for the week. We're going to thank all my patrons supporting me on Patreon. We're also going to thank themanabase.com and the MTG Mastermind for being our sponsors. This has been Nikachu, Merfolk Master playing Mono Blue Merfolk in Modern.